Hey, I took a little break, but I'm gonna start posting my trades again. As you can see, if you read the bio in my Instagram, I'm starting to be a profitable trader. In this video, I'll review the trades that I made on the week. I made 3 trades. And so here at first, I was just saying that I was having a little bit of trouble because I wasn't sticking to the 1 or 2 patterns that have proven to be profitable during my first month of trading, which was the last video that I did on YouTube. Okay, so now I'll talk about my PED short. The ticker was PED. And so here's the chart. So the reason why I shorted this stock was because it was a failed breakout. And then the reason why I thought it wasn't exactly a failed breakout yet, but the reason why I thought it would be was because on this day, on the 6-month chart, on the big green candle stick, that day it traded 100 million volume, and that day the stock made a high of 150. And so on the last candle, the last big red candle is this day. So on this day, I can see pre-market that it went from like 3.30 all the way to like $4, from $1.30. So when it goes up like that, it's likely to fail the breakout. And also, most of the volume was traded above $3. And so this, when I shorted, it was below $3. So that means there's probably bag holders at $3 pre-market here. And then this day, whoever bought here and is still holding on the 100 million volume dollar day, they're probably going to sell. So that's why I shorted here. And sure enough, the breakout failed. I made like 25%. Okay, so the next trade that I did last week was on Mdrr. This time I didn't short this trade because on the daily chart, there wasn't evidence of bag holders. It didn't have, like on this day where it had 100 million volume day on that big green day. So it had record high volume, and then pre-market, whatever the volume is pre-market at the end, I will usually multiply it by 10 to predict the volume on the day. And so pre-market this day, it gapped up over 100%. So I located shares to short because it's an overextended gap up, because it went up like over 100%. But I didn't short pre-market because the volume was like 10 million, I think, or maybe 20 million. And so that meant if I multiply it by 10, it's probably going to trade 100 million or 200 million volume on the day. And on the daily chart, which isn't shown here, but on the daily chart, there wasn't any day that got close to trading 100 million. So there wasn't any bag holders then. So I call it a clean chart because it's likely to trade record high volume. And so then normally I will wait till about 30% of the volume is traded to short a gap up short like this. So if the pre-market volume is 100 million or 10 million, I'll say, okay, I might trade 100 million. So 30% of that is like 30 million. So I'll be waiting until it trades about 30 million volume. Then if it does like a double top or a lower high, I'll usually short into that. But this time, it's looked like at first it was going to fail to break the pre-market high, which was like at 3, but I didn't short it because 30% of the volume wasn't traded yet. And then when about 30% of the day's volume would be traded, if I do like that, what I explained earlier. So after I did that, it was still trading high volume and it was making a higher high. So that's why I didn't short. And then I knew whoever tried shorting it at 3, they were underwater. So I ended up buying the short squeeze at like 380, and then I sold it at 514, and this one was a 36% gain. And the whole entire trade lasted just like 5 minutes. So in like 5 minutes I made $270. And that's why I said shorty getting squeezed in the caption. Okay, now the last trade I made on the week was on KXIN. And so at first I was actually looking at this stock because it was also an overextended gap up. It went from like $2 to $4.65. And also it was kind of like it made a little breakout, but it looked like it might fail the breakout. Doesn't show here because I don't have the daily chart showing. But anyway, I paid a lot of money for those shares. I paid like $118 to locate 200 shares, I think, for SGBX. But next time I don't think I'm gonna do that, because if I'm required to make more than 10% just to get over the fees, it's not really worth shorting. So anyway, I ended up not shorting this because I wanted like a better reward. I wanted it to be closer to its pre-market high, but it started losing its pre-market gain and it just kind of dumped at open, and I didn't short that one. And then next I was looking at HTZ pre-market, and I was trying to find, or I found shares to short, but it was like $65, and that was too expensive since I already paid over 100 to locate on the last stock. So I just left the stock alone. And this stock pre-market, it traded like over 100 million, or about 100 million. And so if I multiply that by 10, I knew it could trade like about 1 billion shares on the day, which it did. But on the daily chart, it had a heavy resistance. There was like one day it traded 500 million and volume, and another day traded like 250 million, and it was like around $3 on the daily chart. So that's why I was thinking of shorting it, because I kind of lost its morning spike quickly, but it ended up recovering at the end of the day. But anyway, then, so after that, I was looking at that a little bit. Then this stock started spiking, and when this stock started spiking, it got halted at like 250, and so it already broke its previous high on the first big green day, traded like 60 million, but when it got halted at 250, the volume was a lot less than 60 million. So I was looking to locate shares to short, and then it started spiking with higher volume and then got halted again at like 350, and then that's when I found shares to short for only $10, so I accepted that fee. And then it looked like it was gonna form the first red candle after it topped at $4, so I shorted at $3.90, and then same thing, like whoever bought here on the first green day, and if they're still holding and if they see this, they're probably going to start selling now to take their profit at 4, and it just shot up so fast without any pullback. And so when it's going to have its first red candle, there's likely going to be selling as people are taking their profit. Okay, and so on this one, it went up a little bit. After I shorted at 390, but then I was just looking, of course, like if it looked like it was gonna make a higher high, then I would have covered, like I was risking 450, so a little more than 10%. But I knew the downside potential was like a lot more than 10%, so that's why I was okay with that risk. And it just almost lost all its gain, so it was like a pump and dump chart. I ended up making 42% on that trade, and that's about all for this video. So that's my trade recap, and I might start trying to make these weekly recaps. And I'm still under the PDT rule, so I'll likely just make 3 trades each week unless there's nothing to trade. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like it if it helped you understand a little bit more about trading. Okay, see you next time. Bye.